warm today. Boy. Welcome, thank you for coming. Today we're going to start in a child's pose, please. So come down onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees a little wider. Big toes touch and slide your hips back. Just settling in. If you start with your hips really high, that's fine. Just take your time, easing into the pose. Drop elbows down. You'll start to even kind of wriggle your way into it. That can feel kind of good. Arms outstretched. Forehead comes all the way down to the ground or resting on the back of your hands. Just whatever works. Get comfortable. Ease in. And take a few long breaths to settle your body. Dropping in. So we're dropping in mentally as well as physically. Big breaths into your back body. Relax any muscular tension that you might be holding. Just deepening your breath even more. Try to really fill all the space in your back body, the back ribs. Get a sense of space opening up around your lower back. So we're relaxing any tension that we're holding there. Okay, let's stretch down one side of the body. So bringing hands over to one side. Lengthen down one side of your body. Let the hips drop again. And coming around to the other side, just walk your hands across. Use your breath to kind of sink into the pose. Hands come forward. Now shift your weight forward. Keep shifting all the way into your hands and then ease your hips back. So we're just going to rock forward and back a few times. So shifting forward and back. A couple more. And then coming up to your hands and knees, just bring your knees under your hips and we'll stretch one leg out behind you with your toes on the floor. So tucking your toes under and push back. So push your heel back. Even stretching the big toe. Just rocking a few times. And then to the other side, extend the leg back. From your hands and knees, bring one hand, the back of the hand to the floor, so we're reversing it, so the fingers point back towards your thigh, and very gently, take it slow and easy, press into the back of the hand. So you may not, depending on your range of movement here, you may not want to bring very much weight onto the hand, or you might be able to shift back a little to get a big stretch up the forearm. So take it to your own level here. And then switching to the other side. So fingers point back towards your thigh, gently pressing back of the hand to the floor. So forward is a little easier, back is more intense. Okay, and then from your hands and knees, just step your right foot forward into a lunge. Bring it far enough forward that your heel is straight under your knee, so we can bring some weight into the heel. Hand to thigh, other hand to the floor, and just start to stretch at the front of the hip there. So we'll start small, just take it easy. If you want to kind of rock from side to side, just ease a bit of movement into the pose, feel free to go for it. If it doesn't feel good, just hold still. Okay, and then shifting your hips back, just lengthening up the back of the leg. If it's super tight, keep your knee as bent as it needs to be, but do try to keep your spine long so that we're not hunching and curling into the pose. So kind of pressing the chest forward and the hips back. Flatten the front foot again. This time we'll tuck the back toes under. Just keep one hand on your thigh, one hand on the floor, and we'll just lift the back knee off the ground. So you might be getting a more intense stretch at the front of the hip there. Just stay and breathe. Make sure there's no discomfort in the lower back. It's always important. Okay, and then dropping your knee down, just come onto your hands and knees again, and we'll do the same thing to the other side. Left foot coming through, take an extra step forward if you need to, hand to thigh, hand to thigh, other hand to the floor. Lift your chest so we're long, all the way up to the crown of the head. Bit of movement if you like. Now sliding your hips back, maybe even flex the foot to make it a more active stretch. Knee as bent as it needs to be for any tightness at the back of the leg there. So tailbone back, chest forward, breathe into the pose. Okay, and flatten the front foot again, hand up to thigh, tuck the back toes under, knee off the floor. Drop your back knee down. Come onto your hands and knees again and step your right foot through. This time we'll lift higher. So if you're feeling steady, if you're feeling balanced, you want the tailbone tipping down, the belly just gently drawing in, and sweep your arms up high. So stretch your fingers up. Big deep breaths into your rib cage. Okay, now slide your hips back, chest forward. Foot to the floor, back toes tuck under, knee floats off the ground, and this time we're adding a twist. So you're turning to face the front thigh, and the right arm reaches up. Okay, hand comes down. Come onto hands and knees. We'll switch over to the other side. So left foot in front and rising up. So find your balance first, then bring the arms into it when you're ready. So stretching up tall, reach right up to fingers. Big energetic pose here. Full breaths. And float down, slide your hips back, move your chest forward. So you might be able to just get the chest a little bit lower now that we're warming up more. Okay, flatten the front foot, tuck the back toes under, knee off the ground, and we'll come into our twist. Coming down onto hands and knees again, and this time we'll tuck all toes under and lift hips up high. We'll slowly pedal the legs, drawing one heel towards the ground, bending the other knee. You might find that your shoulders want to twist as well. And to the other side. So really slowly pedaling. Switching again. And switch. Okay, now from your downward facing dog, bend your knees deeply and press your belly towards your thighs. Then shift forward into a high plank, so shoulders are over wrists. Make sure you're not dumping the hips, so we want to keep the hips nice and buoyant here, using a bit of ab strength. Push into hands, bend your knees and shift your hips back. Power into your feet to float your body forward. And shift your hips back again. Just one more time, coming forward to your plank and hold it right here. Hold, drop the right knee to the ground. Spin the foot out to the side. Keep your left leg long, so we're opening into a side plank. Left arm high. Hand comes down, pass through your plank. Drop the left knee to the floor, spin the foot out. Land the right heel and reach your right arm high. Coming to your plank again. You can do this from your knees or your toes, you choose, but slowly lower to the ground without dropping your hips. Keep your body buoyant as you lower. Now shoulders roll back, lift your chest. Walk your hands forward. And just be really light on your fingertips. So power into the back body. Now hands by your ribs, feet lift, knees come wide, and push up and back into a child's pose. Coming up to our down dog again, tuck your toes under, send your hips up high. Crouch, pushing your belly towards your thighs. Come forward to your plank. Now you could drop your right knee to the floor, or you could just spin your heels over and reach the left arm high, so side plank, so you could always have that bottom knee down if you need to. Come through center, plank, drop the heels over to the other side, bring the knee down if you need, reach the arm up. Plank, from your knees or your toes, slowly lower to the ground, slowly land lightly. Arms outstretched and flatten your feet as well, untuck the toes. So you can have fingertips to the floor or you can float your arms off. Keep tipping the tailbone down so we're pulling in and up through the belly. Arms are reaching, hold for a breath. Now hands by your ribs, feet lift, knees wide. come up and back to your child. Let's do that again. Tuck toes under, send your hips up high. Deep knee bend, chest presses towards your thighs or belly to thighs. Now driving your body forward to your plank, coming over for your side plank. That's the one. Pass through center, come to the other side. Plank. Lower with control. Land. Flatten feet, arms reach forward. Keep your neck long, so the back of the neck stays long here. Hold for a breath. Come back to your child's pose. You can circle your wrists if you need it. We're going to do that one more time. Coming up now to your down dog. Deep knee bend, shift your weight back. Float your body forward. So strong into the hands, spin the heels over. Reach one arm high. Pass through center, come over to the other side. Squeeze those glutes to push your hips forward. Hands down, weight comes forward as we slowly lower. Take your time, really take your time. Try to hover if you can. And finally land, arms reaching. Neck is long, chest lifts. Take a breath and come back to your child's pose. And we'll rest here just for a little longer. Relieve the wrists if they need it. Or you might even like to bring the palms of your hands together. Bend your elbows until your thumbs come to the back of your neck. Okay, make your way up into a downward facing dog. And then walk your feet up to your hands, coming into a forward fold. So feet are about hip distance apart. We're softening the knees, lay your belly down over your thighs and relax your head. Think about tipping your hips up towards the ceiling, starting to get a bit more length at the backs of the legs. And you might hold on to your elbows, and if you want to bring in some movement, gently sway. Alright, take a deep knee bend, bring your hands up to your thighs and sit hips low. Bring arms high and drop hips lower. Now push down into your feet, extend all the way up. Hands come to your center and pause here for a moment. Take a couple of breaths. Okay, drop arms. Step your right foot back into a lunge. Whoa, find your balance. Bring the same hand to your thigh, so the left hand is on your thigh, and the right arm reaches up, and really stretch your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Keep the back leg powerful, which might mean that your hips need to be a little higher than usual. So we want to just check in with the lower back, make sure there's no discomfort there. Now the top hand comes outside your thigh and reach the other arm open. Great. Take a breath. Now sweep both arms up high. Stretch your fingertips up tall, up high. Take a breath and step into your forward fold, feet under hips. lift up to a chair pose, so take a deep knee bend, hands to thighs, then sweep your arms up high and drop hips even lower. Arms all the way up, stretching tall, and hands come to your center. Pause for a moment here, just recenter. Now the left foot steps back. Right hand to your thigh, so same hand on same thigh. Okay, just drop on into your pose, make sure that you're feeling stable, no pressure in the lower back. We always just want that little bit of a lift in the belly so that we're not completely dropping into the pose. Now send your left arm up high and stretch it up high. Keep reaching up to the ceiling or to the sky if you're outside. And the top arm comes to the outside of your thigh. The other arm reaches open. Now both arms reach up. Keep stretching up high. Maybe bring the hips down a little more if you can do it without collapsing your pose. So it's like we're moving in two different directions. We'll just take another breath in here. And push off to your forward fold. Hanging out, maybe hold on to your elbows. Take a deep knee bend, hands to thighs, so that just helps to tell me that your chest is going to be higher than your hips so that we're not here. Okay, so we want to be quite lifted. Then release the arms and sweep them up. Drop hips down towards heels, but keep lifting your arms right up by your ears. Belly in. Now extend all the way up. Hands to center. Send your right leg back into your lunge. And the right arm reaches up. Maybe a bit of a side bend if your lower back is feeling good. So we're still active through the abs, still just gently pulling in through the ribs and belly. Top hand to the outside of the thigh. Open your twist. Here comes the recycling truck. It's going to be noisy for a minute. Just really bad timing. Now both arms reach high. Stretch up. And we're going to add on to this mini sequence now. So just stay for an extra breath here. Now keeping your arms overhead, shift your weight forward and float the back leg off the ground. Keep reaching your arms ahead of you. Lifted leg is really strong. Now arms circle down and behind and dive your chest even further. Step the back foot to the ground, find your lunge again. This time bend the back knee so we can drop in even deeper and reach your arms up high. Can you notice the difference here? The hips are in quite a different position. We can drop much lower, belly still pulling in. You might be able to look up. Take a breath. And coming to our forward fold. Push off, feet under hips. Hanging out, just take a couple of breaths here. You might feel a bit different in one foot than the other from balancing. Coming up to our chair pose, deep knee bend, hips sitting back, arms reaching up. Drop hips even lower. Keep pulling arms up, but make sure that you're not dropping the belly. Now extend. Hands to center. Which leg did we do last time? So if you're right, yes. Okay, we'll go left leg back. Don't want to make you do it twice on the same side. So it's the left leg back, and then the left arm reaches up. So adding on a bit of a side bend, if you're feeling good. Keep bending the front knee, keep that back leg strong. Just shift your upper body across to wherever it feels good. Big full breaths. Top arm comes to the outside of the thigh, other arm reaches back. Don't forget the back leg, out of sight, out of mind, keep it strong. Both arms reaching up. So we're staying in this higher position for now when the back leg is straight. Okay, keep your arms glued to your ears so they're nice and high here. As we shift the weight forward, drag the back leg off and tip your chest forward. Hold and breathe. Now arms sweep down and back. Let's see if we can dive a little further. Challenge yourself here. The lifted foot finds the ground behind you. This time we're bending the back knee, arms sweep up. Drop down even lower. Maybe look up if you can keep your balance. Stay for one more breath here. And come into your forward fold. Holding onto elbows, or just let your arms hang loose. Big full breaths. Okay, scoot one leg under, come and take a seat. Bring the soles of your feet together with your knees open. Just holding on to either your shins or your knees or your ankles or toes, whatever works for you. And even shuffle your hips back a little bit more so we can tip forward from the hips and keep the belly long, keep your upper body nice and long so we're not hunching into the pose. Pressing your chest forward. Just position your head so your neck is long and comfortable. And breathe easy. Okay, now bring your left leg under and the right foot can either be in front of the shin or you could cross it over, but if you're crossing over and this hip's floating off the ground, try to press it down or move the foot. So turning towards the right, facing your thigh, hug it in close to your body and sit tall. Other hand floats behind and gently turn. Any discomfort in this bottom leg, you could also extend the bottom leg. Right, now bring the knee wide, so we're either coming to lotus, modified half lotus, or you can bring the foot further down the calf. If that's still really tight and your knee is up here, just unhook and come into crossed legs. Bring the right hand to the ground and the left arm sweeps over for a side bend. Big deep breaths into the side body. Now this top hand comes to the outside of the knee or the thigh. Other hand behind and just take a gentle twist. Facing forward, bring your hands in front of you and just lean in. So you might be up on your fingertips, on the palms of your hands, maybe coming down to your elbows. Whatever feels best. Feel your breath shifting into the back body. Sitting up, and this time we'll bring the left leg over the top, so either with the foot in front of the shin or across. Make sure you can get your pelvis level. So that might be a super tight pose for you, in which case you can move the foot or even extend the bottom leg. Always modify as you need. It's much better for you to be in a more sustainable position that you can hold instead of struggling. It doesn't have to be about the struggle. Turn towards the thigh, hug it in close with your hand or elbow, the other hand behind, and turn your chest. Turn your eye gaze to look behind you. Okay, coming into your seated position, so it could be modified half lotus, where we have the foot up on the thigh, maybe it's coming down to the calf, maybe the foot is in front. Right arm over this time, leaning in. So make sure we're not collapsing here, we want to still be nice and lifted and long. Keep grounding the hips. Alright, top hand comes to the outside of the leg, of the top leg, hand behind, and a little bit of leverage, just gentle, to turn your upper body. And tipping forward, hands in front. You choose how far you want to come. Just ease in and try to keep your attention here. Keep focusing on your breath, focus on your body. Now, there can be a tendency for the mind to wander as we start to slow down. Gently releasing, and come and lay down onto your back. Okay. Right, bring your knees up and gently hug them in towards you. Let the back of your head rest into the floor. Now you could hug knees up close, or you can extend your arms and let your knees kind of hang off your fingertips. See what feels better for you. Just take a moment, settling, getting comfortable. Breathe easy. Now let your feet come to the floor, turn the soles of the feet together and knees drop open. Rest arms at your sides, or you could have hands on your belly, any other position that feels good. We've got about 6 minutes here to enjoy. Time to rest and recover. Now if this pose feels like a struggle for you, it feels like there's a lot of effort to keep your knees open like this, choose another position that works. Maybe it's with your knees bent up, maybe your legs outstretched, or even come back up to seated, whatever works. But it's more about finding a sustainable position where you can be completely at ease. The breath can flow without any restriction. So we can be completely relaxed, but not so relaxed that we're sleepy. We still want that mental alertness, that awareness in the body, awareness in the present moment. So often the easiest way is by connecting with the breath, just feeling your breath moving in and out of your body. Just feeling that gentle movement, the rise and fall, the expansion and contraction. Notice whenever your mind begins to wander. Keep bringing your attention back here, back into this space. Connect with your body, connect with your breath. Notice where your mind is in this moment and return to what's right here. I want to find that balance between being restful and at ease without being sleepy, and where the mind is alert without being preoccupied. So it's a fine balance, and that is our practice. Stay here just as you are, but really focus on your breath now as we draw it deeply into the lower abdomen, feeling your belly swell and the ribs expand. And with the out breath, the ribs soften, the belly relaxes down. Focus on this feeling and this movement for your next 3 breaths. When you feel ready to move again, maybe start with your hands first or turn your head. Extend your body out long. And curl up small again. Gather knees up to your chest. Coming up into a seated position to finish here together. reconnect, feel your breath. And let's all take one more breath together to finish. Sweeping arms wide and stretching up high. Come down center, thumbs to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me. Really nice to have you. Ngā mihi nui. I'll see you next week.